when we went back to here just a couple months ago to honor Billy, to have his name put on the court. Joakim Noah walks in, and Billy and Shy were there as well. What jersey was he wearing when he walked out on the court to celebrate Billy's name being put on the court? Was Adrian Moss.
Wow.
He had Adrian Moss's jersey on. And really? It's a lot because the respect he had for Moss.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All from that. That's what he was representing. He had Moss's jersey on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, how much did Noah – I mean, you know, you could see the immaturity of him, and I'm sure he drove you crazy in a lot of different ways, all you guys, but he played hard as shit. We know that. How was he to coach? I mean, I went back to a story. Is there some story that stands out about him that entertaining yet would show kind of what he was about?
Three different thoughts come to my mind real quick. Three thoughts, and they all have a randomness about them, but they all have Joakim Noah written all over. First of all, he was really taken back when he suffered his mono. I mean, I took him to the hospital at 2 a.m. and he had stayed away from any attention until it got to the point they wouldn't let him leave the hospital until he could swallow on his own. It was that bad. But that was the kind of physical toughness he had. And then I always remember the fact that Joakim, if you went to get something to eat and Joakim saw somebody on the street, he always had $5, $10 to hand to that person. He never forgot where he was from. He always knew where he was going. And then last but not least, I will never forget my second press conference at Wyoming. Out of the kindness of his heart, he chose to come for Midnight Madness. And to see him with a cowboy hat and stirrups on, I got to tell you, that's a picture all of you would like.
It's pretty good. Billy,
you know, Jeff, I think the thing with Joakim is, I know in a lot of ways he's a lightning rod, and I think all these guys will attest to this. He was a great guy to coach because he was all about the team. You know, two stories that stand out to me about him, to speak to him, that people don't see. I never forget this. We'd won the national championship. We're going into the next year, and I had gotten a call from his mother to give me a heads up that Sports Illustrated wants to do an article on he and his father, Joakim Noah. And they want to put him on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And he agreed to do this interview. And he came into my office a couple of hours before the writer was coming in, and the writer was coming from California. And he said to me, I don't want to do the interview. And I'm like, Joe, like, you agreed to this. This guy's coming. He says, I don't want to do it. I said, well, what's the problem? He says, it's going to look like it's all about me, and it's about all of us. And he said, the only way I'm doing the article is if they put the whole team on the front cover. And Sports Illustrated didn't want to do that, and the story never made it to the front cover. Wow. Like, he was a lightning rod. And I'll never forget this. These guys remember this. We were in the NCAA tournament, and you can imagine, you know, as you move in advance, there's more and more media coverage. So when he goes into his locker, it's hordes of people around him. Sure. And you have Al Horford that's sitting in the locker next to you that's a lottery pick that's really not even getting any attention. And Al loved that because he let Joe deal with it. I don't want to deal with it.
Right.
But what Joe said after that is, hey, listen, I know I bring a lot of this attention on myself. He says, but you guys are the most important thing to me. So I think when these guys saw the things that he did for the team and the unselfishness, it also allowed him to be who he was, because nobody ever looked at him as being a self-promoter or a guy that was just wanting interest. Like, the way he acted, or the way people view it was like that all the time. It was never a show. That's who he is. But people, unfortunately, don't get a chance to see the stuff behind closed doors.